They laughed when I dreamed. They ignored my late nights. They stole my work. But today, they watch me rise. And they'll never be part of this life. My name's Ethan Calloway. I'm 33, a product designer living in Denver, Colorado. Most mornings start with the same ritual, coffee brewing in my tiny kitchen, the bitter aroma cutting through the crisp winter air. My laptop hums. My fingers fly across keys, emails stacking up like tiny mountains. The city outside is alive, horns blaring, joggers crunching snow underfoot. But in my office, it's quiet, reflective, a bubble where dreams feel just within reach. I've always been the underdog. Hardworking, overlooked, and quietly desperate to prove myself. My colleagues, some friends, some rivals, never really saw the effort behind the polished presentations. But I kept at it, because I believed recognition would eventually come. I was wrong. Then there's Julian Pierce, charismatic, confident, everyone's favorite at work. We've been close. I trusted him more than anyone, shared late-night brainstorming sessions, even covered his mistakes so he'd look good. I sacrificed nights out, personal time, weekends in the snow coding our next big product, while he cracked jokes about my obsession with work. Ethan, chill, you're stressing over nothing. I've got it under control, he'd say, smirking, and I believed him, but behind that smirk was something darker. He was waiting for the perfect moment to make my efforts his. I didn't realize it yet, but that moment would shatter everything I thought I knew. It was the annual client showcase. I'd poured 6 months of my life into a revolutionary interface design. Julian strode onto the stage, slides glowing behind him, and introduced the project as his own. Thanks to Julian Pierce for this incredible concept, the client said, clapping. I froze, chest tightening, hands trembling on the railing. Wait, this was my work. I managed to whisper. He didn't flinch. I just polished it a bit. You know how it goes, he said, flashing that smug grin. The room buzzed around me, colleagues exchanging awkward glances. My months of sweat, all the sleepless nights, erased in a single sentence. The taste of bitterness filled my mouth. My heart hurt, not just for the stolen credit, but for the trust I'd misplaced. I didn't scream. I didn't confront him publicly. I stepped back, took a deep breath, and started plotting my own path. Quietly, meticulously, I began building my version of success. Every late night I spent coding on my personal startup, every email proving my authorship of designs. Every connection I nurtured outside the office became bricks in the life they'd never see coming. I tracked everything, documentation, client notes, prototypes. While Julian basked in stolen glory, I constructed a silent, unshakable empire in the background. Midnight became my ally, and the hum of my laptop my constant companion. Then the panic started, Julian's calls at odd hours, texts demanding explanations. Ethan, what are you doing? You can't launch this yet. Stop, this is mine, not yours. I responded once, watch me. The next week, his frustration escalated, emails flew, his voice shook over video calls, fingers pounding keyboards. The office sensed it, the shift, and through it all, I remained calm, collected. My silence spoke louder than any argument. The day came, the tech expo downtown, lights flashing, cameras rolling. I unveiled my product, the one Julian had stolen from me months ago, now perfected, now mine. Investors cheered. Media coverage exploded. Julian's attempts to step forward were met with chuckles and whispers. Clients I'd personally nurtured recognized the work as mine. He stood there, mouth open, flustered, public humiliation plain on his face. The crowd's reaction was electric. I simply smiled, quiet, composed, savoring the justice and silence. Some things are better left unsaid, I whispered to myself. Julian's credibility crumbled. Clients severed ties, colleagues distanced themselves, his charm couldn't save him. Meanwhile, my venture thrived. Looking back, I realized this wasn't just revenge, it was reclaiming my dignity. Hard work, patience, integrity, they're worth more than momentary recognition. The lesson is universal. Value yourself, even when others don't, and when you rise, do it for you, Not for validation, evenings in Denver now feel different. The air smells cleaner, the sunset warmer, my coffee tastes sweeter, the quiet hum of my laptop isn't a burden, it's freedom. I've built a life they'll never touch. I've learned that betrayal can be a lesson, and heartbreak can be a launch pad. If you've ever been overlooked, dismissed, or betrayed, share your story in the comments. I read every one, and if you want more raw stories of heartbreak, triumph, and empowerment, hit subscribe. Remember, never let anyone define your value. Build a life they'll never be part of.